How many days do you work in a week? The usual 5 days a week with the usual 9 hours a day. However, Chile has come up with a new plan. It aims to reduce work week from 45 to 40 hours. Now the question is, what kind of repercussions will this have on the work productivity? And if a working mechanism like this is practical for a country like India? To talk more on this, we're now being joined by Sunil Chimmankoti, CEO Team Lease Digital. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Sunil.
Hi, nice to be here.
Right now, this is not the first time that a working model like this has been introduced. Earlier, workers at more than 60 UK companies trialed for a 4-day work week. In your viewpoint, do you think working for less hours increases productivity?
See, based on the surveys they have done in UK and in few other Nordic countries, and now we here in Chile, there have been some productivity improvements. Post-pandemic, obviously, everybody felt that too much of stress and they need to relax, and it should not affect their mental health, and their work-life balance should be better. So the results are somewhat encouraging, but I would not say that's going to be the norm.
Right. Do you think that working for less hours could become a new normal at the moment?
That's what I said. I don't think it's going to be a new normal immediately. See, if you take a step back, even a 5-day work week, or let's say 6-day work week, initially 6-day work week and then 5-day work week was not a universally accepted norm. But eventually we now have most of the companies working 6 days a week, and
right.
some of the formal sectors working 5 days in a week. So it might happen in future, but not immediately.
Right, you're saying that it will not become a new normal, but then why are so many countries adopting this new working model?
Yeah, so it's an interesting exercise what they are doing, because if you look at their demography, they have a huge geriatric population, which is the old age population there. They don't have the advantage what India has. India has got a demographic dividend. We have a huge working population, and we are actually climbing up the ladder in terms of reaching to new heights, whether you take economy or you take the overall productivity levels. So we are in different stage compared to those countries. So that's why I don't think the same rule can be applied in India. If you look at the sheer numbers, we have 500 million working population in India, out of which 80% are in the informal sector and only 20% are in the formal sector. So we have far bigger problems to address immediately. First, we need to move the informal working class to the formal working sector. So that's the first priority for which governments and a lot of bodies like Indian Staffing Federation is working towards it. So that's our priority now. And second, we need to look at increasing the productivity. If you look at the huge working population is in the farm sector. We need to move them to non-farm sector where their productivities go up. And also, if you look at the wage, India also has a wage problem. The GDP, per capita GDP is around $2,200, $2,300, which is way less compared to what it is in these countries. So I think we need to first address these issues before even thinking about, reducing the number of working days.
Right, like you clearly mentioned that a model like this is not practical for a country like India, then what are the options left for the employees in our country?
See, most of the time we look at the IT sector. IT sector actually is only 1% of the labor workforce. Since I told you that we have 500 million workforce and around 50 million in IT. So I don't think we should go by what IT sector can do. Some sectors can adopt different models, whether you call it hybrid working model or less number of working hours. But I don't think it can be adopted across the industries, because we have a huge informal workforce, and we also have people working in the manufacturing setup, in sales and other areas where it is not practically possible to adopt 4-day work week.
Right. Do you think that pressure on the employees will increase with a reduced working hour period, or also strain various businesses who are not really adopting the new working model of maybe a 4-day work week or an 8-hour work week every day?
See, practically in India, we have far bigger problems to reach to office and live from office to home, because we have an infrastructure problem. There are far less cities in our country. Cities are getting clogged with a lot of working population moving to the larger cities, which is leading to the traffic chaos. And if you look at the normal day, we spend more than 16 hours if you take the travel time and all other time what we spend. So that's our main problem currently. So we, without fixing that, if you increase the working hours further, I mean, the stress only will go up.
Right. Also, there's like a general notion of how long working hours go in tandem with increased productivity. But that's not always the case. Help us understand how longer work weeks do not always mean enhanced productivity.
Yeah. So if you look at Indian working model, we don't go by management by objectives. We go by management by doing and management by seeing. So unless people are presumed to be working for longer working hours and they have been, unless the manager sees him working, we don't trust, because historically we have not been of the kind where we have our clear KPIs or objectives and we give them outcomes. So in that scenario, if you are looking at implementing any changes, it's only going to be detrimental.
Right. And also, since the COVID-19 pandemic, there are a lot of work trends. You mentioned about hybrid working model. Tell us some of the biggest or surprising trends that you have noticed in the world of work since the pandemic started.
The number one trend what I'm seeing is that mental health awareness.
Right.
It was not a normal in a working life of any of us. We never used to give that much importance to that, but most of the organizations have realized that we need to give importance to mental health, and there are counselors being set up in organizations, and people have somebody to speak to if they want to speak to, because there is a far larger issue on depression and mental health even in the working class, which was not addressed. That's the biggest trend I would see, apart from hybrid and hybrid working models and other models.
Right. Just to add to that, there's also notion of burnt out at workplaces, and with 48-hour working week in India, how are Indian companies coping or planning to go ahead with the mental health?
That's the biggest challenge, because when you say 48 hours, it is actually not 48 hours, because, in a normal working day, we spend a lot of time on commute, and we have a lot of, errands to complete before coming in here. We don't have a infrastructure, first of all, to implement that. Second is that our labor code is still in discussion. It is not gone through. So it is, although it is passed by the parliament, it is not notified yet. In the labor code, there is a provision given where we can go for 4-day work week, but enhanced working hours. But I need to really look at how practical it is possible. You might end up spending 90% of your day, or more than 90% of your day in office. So then it will put more stress on your work-life balance. Your family time you may not have on a work day, work week, so you will only have on weekends. Is that the way the new India or the future generation want to lead their life? Is a big question mark for me.
A last question to you, Mr. Sunil, before we let you go. According to you, what is a perfect work-life balance?
There is no perfect answer to that, I would say. It's about how you enjoy your job and how you are able to allocate right time to your work, and looking at, and you should consider the outcomes rather than spending more time in office, or just come to office and show up. That's not what we want. We should look at getting objectives done, getting our KPIs done, and then you should shut down your office by evening when 6 o'clock when alarm rings, and then you should go home and give time to your family. So if you are doing this consistently, I don't think we will have much problem on a when it matters work-life balance or whatever you call it.
Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Sunil, for joining us in WION and sharing your insights with us. Thanks very much.
Thank you.